Treated to fireworks last night at the K, both on the field and after the game. And the Orioles' bats were alive all game long. However, the Birds were held to just 2 runs and dropped a 3-2 decision in the opener. Tonight, the club turns to their ace, Chris Tillman, who makes his 2nd start of the season. Will the run support be there, and can Tillman begin the year 2-0? It's up next on MASN. It's the Orioles on MASN on a lovely Saturday evening in Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Orioles and the Royals. Tonight it's the middle game in this 3-game weekend series. And hi everyone, I'm Jim Hunter. Welcome to Kansas City. And if you enjoy well-pitched games, last night was your game. The Royals did pull it out 3-2. The O's came up 1 run short. However, Dylan Bundy was outstanding again, and he continues to emerge as a top-of-the-rotation starter. And for Dylan, it's all about quality. Every start has been a quality start, and it has set a pattern on the pitching staff. If you look at the numbers of the Orioles pitchers, they are really beginning to pile up outstanding starts, quality starts. First 34 games this year, 18 of them, first time they've done that since 2011. They already have 7 different pitchers with at least a quality start, led by Bundy, who's been quality in all of them. 8, in fact, most in the major leagues. The most to begin a season for the Orioles, you got to go back to 1959. Hoyt Wilhelm had 10. Now, the most consecutive quality starts for the Orioles going back to 1954. Steve Barber had 15, covering 2 seasons. Of course, last year, Chris Tillman, who starts tonight, he led the staff with 16 quality starts. So, Jim, a lot of very impressive numbers there. What do they tell you?
Well, they tell me that the starters are pitching very well. I mean, the bullpen certainly not at full strength because of Zach Britton with the forearm problem. But, you know, at the beginning, and really in spring training, we talked about the fact that most major league teams, the average amount of starters are about 9.8. Well, the Orioles are kind of trending right towards that. But I look at those numbers. I see Asher. He was acquired in spring training. Keno last year. Wilson started the year in the bullpen. In fact, they got the win on opening day on the walk-off home run by Trumbo. He went back down to the minor leagues, got a couple of starts, came up, pitched very well in Boston. So kind of the yo-yo effect using Norfolk. But again, I really think when I look at it, I think they're throwing the ball down and away better than I've seen it in years. And again, you know, Rick Dempsey would certainly talk about this as a guy that caught for 24 years. When you can stay down and away, it allows you to establish there and then go up and in. And as Bundy did last night, use your changeup to get the hitters off balance.
Now, Chris Tillman will make the start tonight. He gets an extra day's rest because of the rain out in Washington, D.C. And he's facing a Royals team, Jim, that last year at Camden Yards, one of his best starts of the season, he completely shut down Kansas City.
Well, he had a lot of great. I mean, he won 16 games, only lost 6 last year. But you go back, you know, maybe a little different pitcher because of the shoulder injury, but he made a lot of pitches. You know, his last start this year against the White Sox, but you're going to see an array of pitches. He's got 4 of them. Came up with a slider last year. Velocity closer to 92, 93. The start this year was 89 to 90. But again, a fully capable guy, as we saw Dylan Bundy do last night, to adapt to the situations. Bundy got hit hard in the first inning on fastballs, went to the changeup, didn't have a slider, didn't have a curveball. Tillman can do the same. Yeah, and you mentioned the fastballs. Kansas City, they thrive on hitting fastballs. So for Tillman to set up the secondary pitches, that fastball command even more important. Well, it really does. And, you know, that's why, you know, Buck Showalter, again, this is going to be what his 6th outing of the year because of the shoulder injury. You usually would have gotten 6 in spring training. So he would actually be peaking, hopefully. But I think actually a lot of times maybe the extra day doesn't really help you, but with Tillman coming off the shoulder problems, it'll probably give him a little bit more of a boost. And of course, for the starters, getting deep in games has been critical because the Orioles continue to go with the 6-man bullpen. And last night, a couple of pitchers weren't available, so really it was a 4-man bullpen. Well, yeah, and we saw that. I mean, we've seen it really since Britton's been out because everybody has moved back instead of moved up. And, you know, I think Chris would like to go. He threw, 94 pitches, 51 strikes, 33 or 43 balls. So he'd like to get the strike-to-ball ratio up. This is a great place to pitch him, even though his numbers are not that good here in Kansas City. But again, he's a fly ball pitcher. You can throw the ball a long way and keep it in the park here. And Tillman looking to pitch the Orioles to a win to even up this series and a chance to get 2 out of 3 tomorrow afternoon. We're coming back to Kansas City. We'll visit with Dave Anderson after this.
Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Fans coming into Kauffman Stadium. Yep, Orioles fans as well. And Dave Anderson is filling in this weekend for Wayne Kirby, who is back home in Las Vegas. His daughter Kaylee is graduating from UNLV. So Dave is here coaching first base in Wayne's absence. Wayne coming tomorrow to rejoin the team. Now, Dave Anderson has had, as you see, a long career in Major League Baseball, and he's in his third year as the Orioles roving minor league infield coordinator. And I spoke with him before the game, and he told us about the routines the prospects go through in the Orioles farm system.
We come out early. We'll do our hitting, our defense. 7 o'clock game. We're probably out in the field at 2:30, 3 o'clock, doing the hitting, doing our base running, bunting, all the fundamentals. We really work hard in our fundamental. It's stressed in our minor league system. It's very important to our big league club. So we spend a lot of time on the fundamentals and playing defense. But that's part of the player development. It's probably the learning process is to get out there early and do the work.
You played in the big leagues, so you have an understanding of what it takes to get to the major leagues. And there's a few players that we saw in spring training that really stood out to me. Eric Salcedo, the shortstop. He looks like he's major league ready with the glove. What's your opinion?
Well, there's a lot more than just catching the ball, and it's a wide range of things that you have to do really, really well. And I think the basic thing is consistency. I think that's what we're looking for. You have a lot of players who have the ability to play at this level but don't have the consistency to play up there. So that's something we really try to hard, preparing themselves for the game. Doing all the little things, learning how to run the bases, and doing all the things like that you need to do once you get to the major league level.
As you work with the players, and they're all prospects until they get here, obviously, do you ever think, you know, I like this prospect as a player, but I don't like him as an infielder? Maybe, you know, Michael Givens is a perfect example. He was an infielder, couldn't hit, and now he's one of the top relievers in the game. Do you ever make the suggestion to Brian Graham and Dan Duquette that, you know, I like this kid as a big leaguer, but not at the position we have him at?
Well, I think there's been quite a number of players that have played in the major league at different positions than they came up on. I mean, prime example usually is catching. It's hard to develop catching. It's hard to find catchers. As a kid, I didn't want to catch. I know most kids don't want to catch. And so you go out and look at those guys, and sometimes you find guys with a good arms, a good hands, and a little bat, and you put them behind the plate and see how it works. So there's times you're going to move players. Some of it's because of your needs that are involved in it. Fortunately for us, we're a team that's had some players play here for a long time, hopefully continue to play here a long time. So a lot of places for our guys to come out and play. So it's nice, like Mancini, who now is playing left field and right field. And I think it's also, it helps us that a player can play different positions because it gives you a little more options.
And as far as players that may make it to the big leagues, obviously the hitting, everybody notices if you can hit. You mentioned Trey Mancini. He's hit at every level. Now he's hitting here. Ryan Mountcastle, who's still very young, he pops out at me because every time you look at the box score, he's doing something for Frederick.
Well, there's no question. The young kids have always explained to the kids, I think at the A level you learn what your game is. For instance, some guys are in college for power hitters and all that. They're not going to be in professional baseball. So I think in A-ball, you kind of figure out what kind of hitter you are. I think Double-A, you execute those, whatever it might be, bunting, hitting home runs and doing things like that. And I think it's just a matter of getting at bats. And I think that's a great thing about professional baseball. It allows you in the minor leagues to get plenty of bats and get a lot of work, and you kind of figure out your way around it.
And Jim, one of the pluses of the Orioles minor league system, there's been continuity. The managers come back every year. The instructors like Dave Anderson come back every year. They get to know the players so well that they can help them achieve the best that they can be.
Well, that's what coaches do. And, you know, I mean, I go back to when I played for the Orioles. I played in the big leagues 20 years. We had the best winning percentage in baseball. And a lot of it came because of the Earl Weavers and the Cal Ripkins and the, you know, so forth. Jimmy Fry's, Jimmy, when I met him, he was down in rookie league. So you got to start somewhere. You want to have, you know, coaches are there for you. And if you take advantage of it, then you have talent and you listen, you got a chance to play in the big leagues.
All right, so tomorrow it's the Mother's Day here at Kauffman Stadium. And there's the logo that they'll be wearing tonight and tomorrow as they celebrate Mother's Day, Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. On Saturday nights play 6:05 games, and here's our BGE home game time temperature. BGE home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? I know it was raining all day at home today, but 78 luscious degrees here, just a south breeze at about 12 miles an hour, and the humidity quite low at 36%. Not a cloud in the sky in Kansas City. Here's the Orioles lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Smith, Jones, and Machado with Chris Davis in the cleanup spot again tonight. Good numbers head-to-head against Cards. Chris was given last night off. Trumbo and Scope with Mancini again in the lineup. He's in left field. Then Hardy and Pena doing the catcher.
And let's take a look at Nate Carnes. Well, May Day, 2-0 this May with a very low ERA lifetime. He's 7-1 with a 268, so loves this month. Hook 'em 35%. Of his pitches are curveballs. Fastball being the 93 range. And KC, here I come, because again this year at home he's 1-0 with an 0.75 ERA, and again on the road 1-2 with an ERA of over 6.5 runs a game. He's really pitched well, given up 6 home runs, but if you look at the numbers, 4 of those in one game down in Texas. And the Orioles certainly know him because they saw him in Tampa, they saw him last year with Seattle. And he's coming off a game with Jim where he struck out 10 against the Tampa Bay Rays down in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, tied a career high with those 10 strikeouts as he picked up the win. And as you see, the shadows will be a problem early on here with the 6:15 local time start. Here is Seth Smith, who pinch hit last night but did not start against Danny Duffy. And there's strike one. We're underway. Smith is red hot. See, in the month of May, 10 for 23, a 435 clip, and has raised his overall batting average up to 308. Shift is on against him. And a high fly ball to shallow left center field. Lorenzo Cain is there. And he's got it. Looked like he had some troubles with the sun, and one down.
Take a look at the defense in a huge ballpark. Bonifacio comes in. We saw him late in the game. Kane never won a Gold Glove, but plays like one. And then Soler, who had a tough night, dove for a couple of balls, turned him into triples. Moustakas, Escobar, Merrifield, Hosmer's won 3 Gold Gloves, and then Perez. He's working on what the last 4 Gold Gloves are his.
Here's Adam Jones, 1 for 4 in the game last night. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going. Good in the pink uniforms. There's the breaking ball Jim talked about, and it's in there for a strike.
Yeah, I mean, he throws it a lot, 35%. He gets it over a lot. I mean, it's about 85%. So there's an 8-9 mile per hour difference between the curveball and the fastball, and then a changeup that's in the mid-80s.
And he is part of a staff, Jim, that has really come on the last week or so.
Yeah, take a look, and again, I mean, this is a team that pitches well. They did it last night. They won. They're red hot. They played really well. They won, what, 5 out of the last 7. They're 7-5 in May. Not scoring a lot of runs, but when you pitch well, you don't need to.
Yeah, that ERA 2.95. Last night they won, scoring 3 runs. So there's the formula. And the 0-2 to Adam, check swing, and he went too far. Tim Timmons says you went too far, and Perez dropped the ball but then tagged him. So a 3-pitch strikeout, 2 down.
Well, you get ahead, and then you get the hitter to expand the strike zone. You throw a curveball. It starts as a strike, goes to a ball. You work on that in the bullpen. And that's exactly what he does as Adam tries to sneak his way around Salvador Perez. It's not going to work.
Well, Carnes averages better than a strikeout per inning. He's at 9.2. He very much has the strikeout arsenal. And he gets the first 2, and now he'll go to work on Manny Machado, who may have the brightest of all the cleats in honor of Mother's Day and breast cancer awareness. And there's a base hit for Machado. Jumps on the first pitch. Can't miss Manny tonight. Oh, those are bright.
Well, his shoes are hitting 1,000.
Yep. He may not want to take them off.
No. Well.
He's got the pink socks and the pink cleats, high tops. You can tell they're branded. Look how they're sparkled. And here is Chris Davis back in the lineup after a night off last night. But Chris Davis against Nate Carnes in Seattle, he took him deep. And that was at Safeco Field, a long way to left center field in Safeco.
Well, 3 for 10 with 2 home runs. So, you know, that's what Chris does. Looks like the swing. We talked about it last night. Maybe a little more direct, but he's going to have to hit the breaking ball. You know, out over the plate, you know, again, if you throw 93 and you throw middle to the out of the plate, you can subtract 5 miles per hour because the ball, you have longer to react to it. Now you throw that same pitch in, 93 becomes 98. So again, you drop your hands behind you. You know, again, the Washington series, they were much more direct to the ball. There's one that just misses, so he at least able to recognize on the second curveball. It's very difficult when the bat drops behind you because you just can't get to the ball on the inside third of the plate. So his strength has always been out over the plate, and we showed you the home run he hit off him in Seattle. You see right there, and it's just maybe in enough where it's hard to get to, and it's elevated. So you start high, you drop your hands, and then how am I going to possibly get the bat head to the ball? And other than swinging up, and when you swing up and the ball maybe has a little bit of life or it stays on the same level, you just foul it off.
Carnes out of Arlington, Texas, where the Rangers play. 5th big league season.
So it's either Clemens or Ryan, probably his idol.
Davis fouls it off to stay alive. Well, the one thing about Carnes, he has been in demand. He was drafted by the Nationals in 2009 out of Texas Tech. And then in February of 2014, he was traded to the Rays, as you mentioned, for Jose Lobaton, who is still the Nats backup catcher. Then in November of 2015, he was traded to Seattle, part of a 6-player deal. That was the deal that Farquhar and Morrison and Brad Miller went to Tampa. And then in January, he was traded here for Gerard Dyson. So there's 2 ways to look at that. He can't hold a job, or people want him. He's in demand.
Well, he's got a good arm, and he's got a nice arsenal.
2-2 on Davis with 2 down. Machado at first. All 3.
Well, I mean, in his minor league career, he struck out 515 and 449 innings. In the big leagues, he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched. Started out 5-1 with the Mariners last year, ended up 6-2, but the ERA over 5 runs a game. So, and again, he's able to, you know, maybe not last year, but with Tampa, you know, pitched almost 150 innings. Year before, AAA for Tampa, the same. So he's learned how to pitch a little bit, and he's only 29.
And the 3-2 with Manny running is fouled off.
And we've seen over the year, it doesn't matter what the count is. I mean, there's a 3-2 curveball. And again, if you just, you know, you throw a fastball. I mean, we saw Duffy become unpredictable. You never knew what he was going to throw last night. The same with Dylan Bundy. And they pitched very effectively.
And Bundy, it was remarkable because he really had no breaking balls. So he had the fastball and he had the changeup, which was outstanding. Breaking pitch is really effective for him. Manny will be off again, 3-2 with 2 down. And another foul ball. Get a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers. And Jim was talking about it. He is Mr. May.
Now, of course, the April months are a little bit skewed because he did have 1 relief appearance and had 2/3 of an inning against the Twins on the road, gave up 4 runs. But if you look, only 1 game, and that was the Texas game where he threw 4 home runs down in Texas, has he pitched poorly and not given him a chance to win. So they have to be pretty pleased.
So Davis about to see a 9th pitch in this at bat. There goes Manny. And it's a called strike 3. Breaking ball bends in there for a strike. And Davis is down to end the first. Base hit a man left. We head to the bottom of the first. Chris Tillman to the mound. Left stranded, no score. Here come the Royals in the bottom of the first. Escobar, Moustakas, and Kane with Eric Hosmer in the cleanup spot, and his bat is coming on. 414 clip in the past 15 games. Perez, Bonifacio, Soler, Moss, and Merrifield for Kansas City.
And they will face Chris Tillman, second start of the year because of the shoulder problems. Well, mix him up. He really did. You know, he threw what about maybe 48% fastballs. Just win, baby. Great one-loss record since the middle of 2012, 57-30, and an important cog for the Orioles starters to be what Buck Showalter wants them to be. He's got to be healthy, and he's got to go out there every 5 days. It's pretty much that simple because he's been that important for him.
Well, Tillman against the White Sox last Sunday went 5 scoreless innings. He only allowed 3 base hits. He did walk 3, but only 3 hits. Here's Alcides Escobar.
2 in the first inning.
It was after a high fastball and swings through it.
Yeah, so he already had a little more velocity than he had in the White Sox game. Yeah, I think anytime you hurt your shoulder, he did it really last year. Against the A's. And never really the same after that time, and then he got the the injection with the PRP injection in December.
Rich plasma.
Yeah. And then struggled all spring. Started back down, and then
soft line drive for a single. Escobar, with a lot of speed, gets on leading off in the first.
Yeah, he comes in at 183, so he's happy. Well, Mancini, Jones, and Smith. That's your outfield. Machado, Hardy, Scope, and Davis, and then Francisco Pena.
Which would enable Caleb Joseph to catch the day game tomorrow. Mike Moustakas, 1 for 4 last night. He is in a 4 for 25 drought. Well, the Royals are playing better baseball. They're 14-21 overall, but they've won 4 of 5, and they're 2 above 500 in May. Fastball runs inside 1-0.
Yeah, really dropped his arm, and the things I look for because I had a shoulder injury, tore my rotator cuff, which is not something that Chris has done. And when you're hurting, you can't throw normal. So can you get on top of it? That slider to Escobar was a hanger. That's how he was able to lift it over the infield for a base hit.
Fastball misses outside, so 2-0.
And Tillman's the type of guy, I'm not sure he's really going to tell you the truth because he knows how important he is to the club. I think, Roger McDowell is pitching coach. Buck Showalter was talking about it before the game. The hitters give you a pretty good idea how you throw.
Shift is on for Moustakas. Whereas Tillman very tough to run on. In his career, there have been 19 stolen bases, but 27 have been caught stealing with him on the mound.
Yeah, and he's 6'5". He can slide step a little bit. In other words, that front leg just slides to the plate. Don't pick it up as much. Get the catcher the ball a little bit quicker.
Popped up. Davis hoping for a play near the dugout. And runs out of room, and he fell in the dugout. Appears to be okay.
Yeah, the old days you used to be able to actually go into the dugout and make a catch. Now, again, there's no railing right where he is. He's right, and they're not helping him. They're getting out of the way and trying to do everything, and then maybe getting a little help there. Yeah, Moustakas, that one hit, as you look at Buck Showalter, that gave him their first run because he would hit a double down the right field line and then score on the Kane double.
2 balls and a strike on Moustakas. 28 years old. Kansas City will likely have a much different look next season with all the free agents they have, including Moustakas. First round pick back in 2007.
Well, he got $4 million to sign. Last year he was hurt. He had not only a thumb injury early in May, but then the ACL tear. But it looks like he's healthy than that. But comes out of California.
And the 2-2 is a double play ball. There's Hardy, gets it to Manny, and back to first, double play.
Yeah, perfect changeup, Jim. Now he threw him a couple of sliders that stayed up. He couldn't hit them, fouled them off, and then just as Dylan Bundy did last night, gets him the roll over. That's the shortstop playing second base because of the shift, and then Machado, who played a lot of shortstop through the minors, and then last year with a broken foot for J.J. Hardy, turns the 2.
Yeah, Manny, Dave Anderson, we heard from earlier. Of course, when Manny was at Bowie, Bobby Dickerson was the roving minor league instructor, and it was Bobby that would go down to Bowie and help Manny learn the nuances of third base.
Tough love.
Here's how you do it, kid.
Yep.
There's Dave. And strike to Lorenzo Cain, who's also heating up.
Oh, he's almost hitting 400 in his last 9 games. And you watch him take batting practice, you realize what a great swing he has. I mean, it's very level, doesn't overswing. He also will be listing Escobar as a potential free agent. Cain, Moustakas, Hosmer. Almost everybody that's going to come to the plate. I think there's 6 of them.
And the 0-2 is high, 1-2. And we mentioned it earlier, but we want to send congratulations to Wayne Kirby and his wife Kara. Their wonderful daughter Kaylee graduated from UNLV today, so she's now a college graduate. Ball's cute foul. I wonder if Kaylee will be able to read her diploma. I can't read mine. Mine's in Latin. I can read my name, but I have no idea what it says on there. All I know is I got one. It's hanging on the wall of my office.
Well, you think you got it, you just don't know what it says.
That's exactly right.
I mean, you think you graduated, Joe.
They had a little bit low. Well, Seton Hall, a Catholic school, so the diploma's in Latin. What a gorgeous night. Still plenty of sunshine out there. 2-2 with 2 down. And he got him. Oh boy, that ball really sailed outside. A fastball with movement. So leadoff hit, but none left. We head to the second. Birds come to bat. No score. Of Baltimore has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game tonight. You can play home run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home run. Trumbo will lead off for the O's, each team with a hit in the first inning. Brings an 8-game hitting streak into tonight's game. He has 12 hits in those 8 games. Of course, he continues to lead the Orioles. He has 12 multi-hit games already.
Yeah, and you would think that he's actually slumping. Heating up as of late.
Carnes going back to work. And a strike. Going to look at our PNC inside the numbers, and here are the splits on Mark. And what's he going to do here, Jim? He's leading off. He needs 2 outs.
Well, he hopes those numbers change. That's why you get up 625 times a year.
Start a new trend right here.
If you told him that, I think he might depress him. So maybe we better keep that quiet.
Got foul. That's Bobby Dickerson.
Yeah, great time of the night to pitch. Yeah. Only because it's still twilight. The band of sunlight right behind Carnes has kind of gone away. We saw last night what the game started at 7:05. Lights took effect maybe 20 to 9, somewhere in that hour.
Carnes in his start on May the 3rd actually had 4 strikeouts in an inning. One of the strikeouts he threw a wild pitch, so the inning continued, and he struck out the next batter, and he gets Trumbo here with 3 Ks and 5 batters to begin the night.
The Orioles are very much like the Royals. They hit the fastball a little bit better. He's got that was why it's one of our keys. Hook him. And he's got a fabulous curveball. It's hard. Talking to Dave Island, he said, not too many guys have that kind of command. It's a pitch he has total confidence in, and the good ones, out of your hand, the Blyleven's, the Koufaxes, the Suttons, you just don't pick up the spin.
Jonathan Scope, 1 out, nobody on. Tempted but lays off, 1-0. 4-game hitting streak for Jonathan. 357 clip. He is now 10th in the American League in batting. He's up to 304. Good take there, 2-0. When Card struck out the 4 in his start on May 3rd, he became only the 2nd Royals pitcher in franchise history to do that. 4 Ks in 1 inning. The other, Kevin Apier, and that was back in 1996. So from 96 to 2017, no one had done that, 4 Ks in 1 inning, until May 3rd when Nate Carnes accomplished it.
Well, let's see if he hits here. You're going to get a fastball. Can't imagine he's going to throw a curveball. He's taken. The reason I say that, runs are hard to come by in this ballpark, especially with the way they've been pitching. It's one of those counts you kind of, maybe one of those bet the ranch on, at least you're going to get a fastball. Now, not so sure.
Did get a fastball. Jonathan swings through it.
Yeah, a lot of movement. Starts on the plate. Look where the target is. It just sails in. He's got good velocity. Average fastball is 92.9. That one in the 94-mile-per-hour range.
3-0 to a full count on Scope. And he got him. Same pitch he got Trumbo on.
Not only that, it's a 3-2 hook. Like I said, it's just who he is. I could still remember a game where the Orioles faced him in Tampa Bay. Probably would have been 2015. He gave up, Wayne Chen was pitching for the Orioles. He gave up 5 runs in the first inning. And I think that's when he really learned about pitchers. And the Orioles, he shut him out for the next 4 or 5. Because a lot of guys will throw in the towel. This young man did not do that.
Ray Mancini looks at a breaking ball for a strike. 1 for 4 last night. He has 11 hits in his last 24 at bats. He is on a surge. He gets a start against the right-hander.
There's the changeup. Doesn't throw it very often. They've been trying to do everything for him. Hook him, change up. He's a good fastball hitter. When he's out in front of the changeup, he thinks, okay, right center field, makes me wait a little bit longer.
Another off-speed pitch, 1-2. Strike 3 called. Mancini thought it was low, and he's rung up by Tim Timmons. So a 3-up, 3-down inning as Carnes strikes out the side. Mid-second, no score. One to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. No score, each team with a hit. Orioles go 3-up, 3-down in the second. And Manny's got those pink cleats working. So this Mother's Day weekend throughout Major League Baseball. Players using the pink bats and the pink cleats. They'll all be authenticated, the jerseys, the hats, the bats. And they'll be auctioned off by MLB.com for charity.
And you look at Eric Hosmer, he probably likes his bat, so he put the pink tape around it.
Breaking ball for a strike. Tillman's learning from Carnes. Hosmer at 289. He has 9 hits in his last 23 at-bats. Royals are still dead last in team batting. But it was a real slow start in April. Good change up there, 0-2.
Yeah, 7-16 April. You know, I was talking to Ned Yost. You're looking at him right there, and you know, he was saying with all the free agents, they wanted to come out of the gate. I mean, this is a very experienced club, 81 and 81, after winning the World Series in 2015 and going to it in 14. They tried too hard, over swinging, trying, you know, not relaxing. So then you get buried a little bit, and then you relax. You go, what the heck? And all of a sudden, you start winning baseball games.
And there are numerous stories that several may be traded. Of course, you got to be thinking about that. Mancini back on it. It's over his head. Hustling the second base is Hosmer, and he gets there just ahead of the throw.
Yeah, this is such a big ballpark that even if you play it well, that ball came right back to Trey Mancini, and he does have a good arm, and he makes a strong, accurate throw. But he's a high ball hitter. And again, when he hits the ball in the air, hit 25 home run, becomes a power hit. But again, you can just beat the throw, and of course, if you're Eric Hosmer, you know where the throw is coming because you're looking right at it.
So Hosmer stays hot. His 9th extra base hit. Mancini played that well. Not the location Tillman was looking for on a 1-2 pitch.
Well, maybe 92 to 95 when he's healthy on occasion, he can get into those radar readings. You know, 90 gets hit hard.
Ball 1 to Salvador Perez, who is the hottest of the Royals hitters. There are his numbers against Chris Tillman. Perez brings an 8-game hitting streak to tonight's game. Team batting with runners in scoring position. Orioles are the best in the American League. Kansas City's at the bottom. Only Oakland is worse. And that's in large part why they are last in runs scored in the American League with 106.
Yeah, but Perez at 259 with that hit he got in the 8th inning last night.
Nice block by Francisco Pena.
Well, we'll see how they play it. You know, a lot of times you get a leadoff double. You know, you say, okay, I'm going to get him over. Make it easier for the next hitter. A little slider here, and that is excellent job by Francisco Pena. Was his dad, terrific catcher. What, won 4 Gold Gloves, I believe.
Yeah, played 18 years.
He moved right into it and kept it right centered with his chest protector.
Doesn't chase the changeup, ball 3.
Yeah, leadoff doubles, they can be a little unnerving because, again, you know, you already, if you're Chris Tillman, you've seen how Carnes is pitching. He struck out 5 in the first 2 innings. So you maybe be a little bit careful, but the one thing you want to avoid, and walks will lead to it, is the beginning.
And the breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, that's the
Perez
slider.
looked fooled.
Yeah, that was probably one of his best pitches. As you look at our Mercedes pitch cast, right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Nice.
Salvador, a big tall guy.
It was nicely framed.
Yeah. Oh, Francisco Pena, very much like Caleb Joseph, Wellington Castillo. He can catch.
And a base hit to left field. Mancini was deep. Hosmer will be sent, and the throw will go to second base. So Perez, who leads the Royals in RBIs, picks up another, and a 1-0 Kansas City lead.
Yeah, 3-2 changeup. You really can't throw it perfectly down and away, so he leaves it in the middle of the plate. And as you said, he's just too hot. And again, he just hooks it right by Manny Machado. That's not easy. You got to hit it hard. Very fast infield, very fast outfield. And it's a vast outfield. So double single. Royals take the lead. They had what, 3 one-run leads last night, and the last time they got it, they won 3-2.
Jorge Bonifacio is getting a start tonight in left field. Alex Gordon left last night's game with a right groin strain. Fouled off 0-1.
Yeah, big, strong, young hitter.
23 years old. He's a rookie.
Well, they finally got it together. His brother Emilio played for the Royals back in 2013, but last year at AAA Omaha, and it is AA. I mean AAA, 22 doubles, 19 home runs, and 6 triples. So for a big guy, as he waves at that one, and of course batting practice, a lot of guys look good in BP. He can hit it a long way.
Hit his first career home run in Texas in the big ballpark there, April 23rd. Now has 2. And he got him. Real good pitch.
Yeah, veteran pitcher, young hitter. Take advantage of it. Never gave him anything to hit, contrary to what Hosmer and Perez got. And the slider, again, close enough to get him to chase, and he does.
Yeah, and he was ahead of Hosmer, but he left one out over the plate, and he fell behind Perez. Jorge Soler, you see 0-48. He has just 1 hit. This is only his 8th game. He had a strained left oblique muscle and was on the DL, just activated May the 6th, so he's only been back a week. Called. One thing about Chris Tillman, Jim, you know, you look at his career with the Orioles. This is his 181st start. He's been very, very consistent. He has 73 big league wins, 36 at home, 37 on the road. changeup for a strike.
Yeah, to me, I mean, he came up, what, 2010 and 11, but when he came up with the All-Star break, I still remember, like, did the game up in Seattle, throwing 95 in the 9th inning. He had worked with Brady Anderson in the offseason. Mechanics got a lot better, got bigger, stronger, and he's been Chris Tillman since then. It was a struggle early on. Just pitch count got him, like a lot of young pitchers.
And if you recall that season, he did not make the team out of spring training, obviously, and he was sent to AAA Norfolk, where they basically reinvented him. I mean, they changed his windup, they changed his approach, and it took him half a season until he was comfortable enough. And then when he came up, he hasn't looked back. So an organizational success story. Line drive, another base hit. Softly hit, but it found the hole. So 3 hits in the inning, and first and second with 1 down. Well, don't forget the Birds are back home on Friday. They'll begin a 3-game series with Toronto, and you can enjoy this season's first fireworks night presented by Kaiser Permanente. Then on Saturday, a week from today, it's Celebrate Maryland Day. All fans will receive a replica Maryland flag script jersey presented by Morgan State University. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Yeah, tried to sneak a fastball by him, but 88's not going to do it. We saw that with the double that Hosmer hit. The change-up was up to Perez. You know what the intention is. Another 3-4 miles per hour. It's probably a pop-up.
Brandon Moss, a slow bouncer. Only 1 play is to first, and Tillman gets there ahead of him. 2 down. The runners move up. Perez to third. Soler to second. And Brandon Moss, first ball swinging, an easy ground out.
Yeah, a little cutter. Fastball. He hit it, what, 451 feet into the fountains last night. I always thought it was kind of an advantage if you're able to pitch well to pitch game 2 or 3. You can look at all the film you want, but it's nothing like sitting in the dugout, kind of seeing what guys do, how they react to pitches. When your catcher comes in, and last night it was Caleb Joseph, so, okay, where was that ball? Was it on the corner? Was it just off the corner? All those little questions. Pretty critical at bat right here, the way Carnes is pitching.
Breaking ball to Whit Merrifield is in there for a strike. So Kevin Gausman then will be the beneficiary. He gets the 3rd game in the series tomorrow afternoon.
But the modern day lingo, Jim, only if you're able to execute the pitches.
Here's Kevin on the bench. Wade Miley and Dylan Bundy. Ducked out of the way. Curveball slipped out of his hand.
Yeah. If he hits him, he might have been gone. Oh no, that was Boston.
He almost hit the bat.
Yeah, Whit Merrifield 2 for 14 in these situations. Well, that number can change if you get a hit.
Now back 1-2. Well, Merrifield, much like Bonifacio, spent a long time in the minor leagues. He was drafted in 2010. He played in college in South Carolina. But he spent 8 seasons in the minor leagues, 725 games, and last year finally got a shot. Played in 81 games for the Royals last year. Tillman trying to get this final out and keep it to a 1-run inning. One and two on Merrifield.
Yeah, see, he can't quite sync it up. He slide steps, tries to quick pitch him a little bit. He can't get his arm up. And again, that's probably the inactivity and, you know, the fact that he really didn't do as much throwing in the off season. You know, he went to last year when he was 16-6, you know, working out with Zach Britton, really ready for spring training. This year, because of the shoulder problem, just didn't have a chance to at least put the throwing part of the program into place.
2-2, 2 on and 2 down. And did he foul it off? Yes, he did. He got a piece of paint. Tim Timmons was more concerned with Pena. He didn't get the signal.
Yeah, a little hanging breaking ball, and he hits him right in the middle of the mask. could see him waiting. Actually, pretty good swing. Just couldn't. A little cutter, a little slider, even though it was not in a particularly good place, fooled him enough to foul it off.
Kansas City, this team, for as little as they've hit on the year average wise, they really have a tremendous ability prolonging at bats. Another 2-2. Change up low, ball 3.
And you got Escobar, who's now 7 for 21, waiting on deck.
Perez at third, Soler at second. And the 7th pitch in this at bat about to be made to Whit Merrifield. Fouled off.
Yeah, another little hanging cutter. It just doesn't trust his fastball, and that's understandable.
It's been a 26 pitch inning. Up to 40 already in the second. And he popped them up on the 8th pitch. Davis had foul ground, and he's got it for the out. So after all that, Tillman allows just the 1 run. 2 left. We head to the third. 1-0 Kansas City. For the O's, Jim, on the road, they're now 9-9 because they are 0-2 on this trip.
Well, they are, and you know, and again, I mean, you know, the blow and save in Washington. That, you know, again, that's a Britain situation. The same in New York when they scored 11 runs, got beat 14-11. So you can explain it. But again, I like the fact that they are scoring runs. You know, they're just going to have to somehow try to put the pieces together to hold the fort till Zach gets back. Now, when that's going to be, nobody knows.
Here's J.J. Hardy leading off. Pena and Smith will follow. Fastball right there at the knees, 0-1.
Yeah, it's wonderful when you can hook them and you can also throw that first pitch fastball. You're looking for it, but maybe not looking for it at the knees. So he gets ahead in the count.
Fastball too tight. 1-1 on J.J. Karn 16-11 in his big league career. This season he's made 2 starts at home, 1-0, but his ERA here is 0.75 at Kauffman Stadium. Went too far.
Well, it just amazes me that you would trade him for Jared Dyson. Now, you know, Dyson's, you know, hitting like 202. He could steal bases. And, you know, inexpensive guy that can give you, you know, 90 to 150 to 160 innings. And he gets traded again. And now he's obviously on his game, as he was down in Tampa Bay. The pitching's hard to find. And of course, you know, the guy that he really gets replaced by is Giovanni Gallardo. So you get a guy maybe making under $1 million for a guy making $11 million. It's just amazing how some teams value veteran pitching. So for him, all he's got to do is prove that he belongs, and he's going to get a chance here in Kansas City.
Pena, first ball swinging, fouls it off. Hosmer's over. He'll run out of room. Nice crowd on hand on this Saturday night. Beautiful ballpark to watch a game.
You come in, I think, what is it, I-70?
Yeah.
And you come in, and you know, this sits kind of down in a bowl.
Just off the plate. Yeah, when you come into Kauffman Stadium, the street level is level 3 of the ballpark. There are 2 levels below. Ball for strike, 1 and 2. So I-70 up there behind center field. If you hopped on that, you'd end up in Maryland. Fountains. Wow, they got everything here. Kids are having fun.
Well, every year it seems they make some renovation or addition. Attendance is, I guess, the capacity's gone down from like 41,000 to 37. But very fan friendly.
Here's the Royals Hall of Fame that they built beyond the left field grandstand.
Well, you got Dick Howser, number 10. You got George Brett, and then you got Frank White.
Pena with a good take there. Count evens 2 and 2. Carnes has seen the Orioles 6 times, 5 starts. Already 6 strikeouts through the first 8 batters. Deep to left field for Pena. Back it goes, and this game is tied. Francisco Pena gets one up in the zone. His first of the year, and we are back even at 1. What an at-bat. Before the game, he said he was going to hit a home run tonight for his mother in honor of Mother's Day.
Well, Nathan Carnes certainly part of the deal when he hangs a curveball. So that's the first one that was hittable, and he launches it.
And another $500 to our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Melody Kelly of Baltimore.
What's it about these catchers? Caleb Joseph, 2 doubles, a triple last night. Now they need a single they can hit for the cycle.
There you see that. He just said Happy Mother's Day to his mom.
Here's the hook, and it just stays up. First one of the night. As we mentioned, that's only the 7th home run Carnes has thrown, 4 of them in 1 game in Texas.
Gabriel and Noah wanted to get some camera time there. Oh, that was a blast. We're back even at 1. As Pena getting a start. His second start. He hasn't started since last Sunday. 405 feet on the home run. 2-1 on Smith. Smith flied out to Kane in center field, leading off the game. See, the shift is on. That is amazing, the dip he gets on that breaking ball.
Well, it really is. And, you know, he's got a very 6'3", you know, listed at about 225 pounds. And watching him warm up, really kind of almost takes his left side and jerks it back towards him to make sure he throws the ball downhill. And he's done that with only one exception, a home run.
All 3.
There's a changeup. Now he's trying to pitch to the book. The book on Seth Smith. You know, good fastball hitter. Actually pretty good breaking ball hitter, but doesn't hit the changeup.
Francisco Pena happy on the Orioles bench. Full count for Smith. And he walked him.
So nice. I mean, that's why they got Seth Smith to do exactly that. Lay off the close pitches and take the walks.
Well, as we've been talking about this weekend, the Orioles are wearing the special Mother's Day uniforms. Go online, Orioles.com/auctions, and you can bid on these autographed and authenticated game-worn jerseys and caps. All the proceeds will benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation and the John Fetting Fund for Breast Cancer Prevention at Johns Hopkins. Bidding will close Friday at 10 p.m., so get involved, Orioles.com/auctions. There's Adam Jones. It's the second time tonight Carnes is from the stretch. There's a look at the jerseys you can bid on. All the lettering in pink. Breast cancer awareness emblem on there. Line foul, look out.
And maybe sitting on the curveball. It is an option until you get to this count. It's amazing. You played, and hopefully everybody's all right. Late swing, and boy, you don't have a lot of time.
The 0-2 on Jones. Struck out his first at bat. Orioles get back even here. So Carnes, after his team scored a run, gives the run right back. Adam just does get a piece to stay alive. Seth Smith at first with only one down. Strike three called. Paints the outside corner. And two away. That's strikeout number 7.
Well, again, as you mentioned, season high last game and career high 10. And just dots the outside part of the plate. Sure, Jonesy thought about swinging, just couldn't get it going.
Well, Perez wanted it upstairs and came in around the knees, but right down the middle. Well, here's Manny singled on the first pitch he saw. Now they're going to shift on him. Ball 1.
And when he's hitting at his best, I mean, he uses the whole field as well as anybody. Scott Coolbaugh, Oriole hitting instructor, saying, you know, where's your strength? Right center. But we can, you know, he reminds me very much of Tommy Davis when he played with the Orioles. Of course, Tommy came up one of the great Dodger hitters, drove in 153 runs. But he could hit line drives the other way like a left-handed pull hitter. Manny could do the same thing.
He got a pitch to hit, but he pulled it. Well, Manny with the fastballs, a little different success last year than this year.
Well, a huge, and it's early. I mean, you know, he's got to get 600 and some at bats. You know, I was looking at the numbers yesterday. We get all these numbers. He was hitting 105 on low pitches and 129 on inside pitches.
And a good take there, 2-1.
But there's a process to getting to where he was last year, which is 37 home runs. You know, it's a sustained quality at bats, and that's what Scott Coolbaugh is trying to get him to understand. He can't hit them all in 1 month. You got to earn them.
Popped him up to shallow right. Soler has a play. And he's got it. The O's are done in the third. But Francisco Pena, happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Pena. He hits it out, his first of the year, and a 1-1 game in Kansas City. Orioles Baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by University of Maryland University College. Oakland Stadium in Kansas City, 1-1 game. Francisco Pena with a home run to tie it on this simply gorgeous Saturday night. Francisco Pena getting a start, and he comes through with the bat. Top of the lineup for the Royals here in the third. Escobar, Moustakas, and Kane. Escobar singled to lead off in the first. Breaking ball's low, 1-0. For Tillman, it's just his fourth start in his career at Kauffman Stadium. Line to center field, Adam Jones will run it down in a lunging grab.
Well, I'll tell you, if he doesn't, it may have been an inside the Parker. It's not like the old stadium where it was actually AstroTurf. This is a hanging changeup, and he hits it hard, and it actually hooks. So he doesn't catch that. It's going to go by him, and Escobar can run. So it takes away extra base hits, possible inside the park home run, and then you go, well, that doesn't happen very often. Well, you're playing at Kauffman Stadium, and it's huge. Great jump to catch that ball.
Here's Moustakas. Tillman has retired 3 in a row since the Soler single put 2 on in the second. Could sure use a quick inning here and get his team back up there. Moustakas a double play ground ball in the first. Can't catch up to the changeup.
Yep, trying to slow the bat down.
Two and one. Orioles have the shift on again for Moustakas. Manny's the only infielder on the left side. That ball's ripped to right field towards the corner. Long run for Smith, and it's a foul ball, faded at the end.
Yeah, a little fortunate. Just got the change up. Yeah, the one that he threw down and away was a double play ball that you referred to. Yeah, can't do it now, but I mean, I played with a lot of great players, you know, starting with Well, you go right down the list. I mean, the Paul Blairs and Brooks Robinson, Boog Powells, and Frank Robinsons, and then Cal and Eddie. When you're not throwing real hard, Harden's throwing harder than Tillman, they would sit on breaking balls. It's not quite as effective then.
And he gets him with a breaking ball.
But when you get the 2-2, which is at count, and you make a quality pitch, which he's certainly capable of doing, a little different story right here. So good curveball, straight off the table. And again, throws it over about maybe 40, at least in the years past, 45% of the time. But right there, you just fool him, get him a chase ball.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, struck out his first at bat. Tillman and out away from a 3-up, 3-down inning. Fouled it off, didn't mean to swing. The ball hit the bat.
Well, that's the way he takes the first round of batting practice. Terry Crowley used to do it with a lot of the Oriole hitters when he was the hitting instructor. It would be almost like pepper. In other words, pitcher's going to throw, and you're just going to make sure the bat head gets to the ball, which is kind of the way you hit. Barrel of the bat.
Lorenzo Cain, now 31. He's in his 8th season. Made it to the big leagues with Milwaukee. He was a 17th round pick from Madison, Florida. And there's a base hit. And Cena's going to try to cut it off, and he can't. It's down. It goes all the way to the wall in this big ballpark.
Yeah, we saw the first 2 doubles off of Dylan Bundy. Moustakas to right field, Cain down the left field line. If it's up the gap, it's almost like playing on turf. Very firm, both in the infield and the outfield. It's all, do you get a good pitch to hit? It's like a breaking ball that stays up, spanks it at the gap. And because there's 2 outs, you kind of shut it down and coming around first. No reason to get to third base.
So Cain with his 10th extra base hit of the year. And the red-hot Hosmer with a chance to get Kansas City the lead right back. Hosmer doubled and scored last inning. Knocked down by Pena, 1-0.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough decision. I mean, if Perez, who's waiting on deck, wasn't red hot for that 9-game hitting streak or 8-game hitting streak, actually make it 9 because he got hit the first time, he might be thinking about pitching around Eric Hosmer. Got the game winner last night. Hit the double to start the 1-run rally tonight.
Another one knocked down.
Yep.
Well, Hosmer was a first-round pick of the Royals in 2008 from Plantation, Florida, right outside of Fort Lauderdale. And he was the number 3 pick in that draft. And I think if Tampa Bay had to do it over, they might want to keep the kid in the home state of Florida, because Tampa Bay made Tim Beckham the number 1 overall pick in that draft. And even though he's having a pretty decent year this year, he still has not reached what they thought he would be as a number 1 overall pick. There's a strike, 2-1.
But they'd be in the same boat as Kansas City, small market team. Hosmer, free agent. Scott Boras is his agent. He's kind of floated out 10 years, $200 million, which kind of offended me, but certainly offended the people that actually come here and pay the salaries. I mean, that better be a real special player to get 10 years, $200 million. Well, maybe he'll get it, but we'll see.
Oh, he's 27. That's a little risky, 10-year deal. Pedro Alvarez went number 2 overall in that draft to Pittsburgh. Then Hosmer, the Orioles had the 4th pick. They took Brian Mattis, and the 5th pick was Buster Posey.
Oh, there you go.
Tampa Bay could have had Hosmer. They could have had Posey. Posey went to Florida State, so another in-state possibility. And he walked him. 3-1 pitch misses outside, so Perez does come up with 2 on.
Yeah, that's kind of a pitch around. A little risky because of Perez, as hot as he is. And both Hosmer and Cain with very, very good speed. So they're going on contact with 2 outs. It's almost no possibility of throwing out Kane on a base hit.
And the outfield is deep in this big ballpark. Ball one.
Now, there's just not a lot of arm strength yet for Chris Tillman. You know, 88. Again, a little tentative with the fastball, trying to get the hitters out with other pitches. Perez hit the changeup in the left field the first time for the base hit.
Lined and right to Hardy at shortstop for the final out. Hardy was over towards the hole and got to it easily, so Kansas City threatens, cannot score. We head to the fourth, tied at 1. Inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Those fans at Kauffman Stadium. Handyman walking by. Tillman gets out of the jam. And Karn's back to work in this 1-1 game. 7 strikeouts already, 1 walk, and the 1 run allowed on the Pena home run. Davis, Trumbo, and Scope in the Oriole fourth. Lined and caught. Nope, trapped. And over to first goes Escobar.
Olay, but he grabbed it. Well, you don't want to get hurt. The ball was a missile. He didn't have a choice but to either try to catch it or get out of the way. He did both of them. Nice pitch, Nate. That's what we used to always say when you can come in, throw 3 line drives. This is a bullet. The shift certainly works. Yeah, you kind of like the fact that at least Chris Davis had a quality at bat. Nothing to show for it, though.
Trumbo takes low. So Escobar, he turned around. They have a huge screen in center field here. He wanted to see exactly how he gloved that as they replayed it on the scoreboard for the fans. I don't know who he's talking to, but he's got a conversation going on with somebody. Maybe on the Orioles bench. And he swung and missed at an off-speed pitch, and who knows what he was looking for in a fastball
well,
right by
certainly
him.
was a 93 down the middle, because that's why he kind of kicked a little dirt.
Slipped out of his hand. It looked like 2-2.
But see, it's all right to guess and not get your pitch as long as you don't have 2 strikes. So, you know, so on a 1-1 count, that's what good hitters do. Or or they hit off the fastball and hope that, as Francisco Pena found out, he'll every once in a while get a curveball up.
And he went too far.
Yep. Just can't read the spin. It just tells me how good it is. Look, 8 strikeouts now, 7 probably on this pitch. It's not even close to being a strike, but again, the illusion is it's going to be on the plate. That ball's what, 8 inches off the corner?
And it bounced. So 2 down on the 8th strikeout. There's Jonathan Scope. Inside corner that time.
Yeah, I mean, I always found that the curveball, and I don't know if mine was quite as tight as Karn's, because I also had a slider, is that you probably don't locate it as well as your fastball. But again, if you get on top of it and it goes down, there's a fastball that he doesn't get the strike.
There's a fastball. He went right back there and hit the glove that time. 1-2.
Well, he's got a good windup. I was talking to Dave Island today, and I was asking about Danny Duffy. I said he pitches from the stretch. He said, I told him last year when he won 12 and lost 3, he said, stand on your head as long as you can repeat your windup. So that's what pitching coaches are looking for. Guys with good arms. Karns has that. A repeatable delivery. A strikeout pitch, which is curveball. It reminds, you know, Lance McCullers of Houston, much younger, but Karns has that kind of breaking ball.
And he gets Jonathan on the breaking ball. Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a second time in this game. The Negro League Museum here in Kansas City, and Adam made a $20,000 contribution. There's Jackie Robinson, a painting as a Kansas City Monarch, of course, the great Buck O'Neill, and Adam was genuinely honored to visit and help out the Negro League Museum. There's Bob Kendrick, the president.
These are the guys that set everything in place for you. These are the guys that were the pioneers of this game. And they got along with everybody. They didn't care that they were segregating against it. All right, cool, let's create our own league. So they created a league that's sustained for a long time.
So as usual, Adam Jones getting out there in the community, and it's one thing to write a check, Jim, but he's there. And Bob Kendrick, who you saw in the shot there with Adam Jones, the president of the Negro League Museum, as Bonifacio leads off. He was telling a story about Cool Papa Bell. And he said that Cool Papa Bell could circle the bases plate to plate in 12 seconds. That's how fast he was.
Oh, that's when you're cool. You can do that.
And that is a foul ball about a Bonifacio.
Yeah, got a breaking ball up and just missed a double. Yeah, I remember Buck O'Neill, and I talk about it every time I come here. You know, when he was alive, he'd sit right behind the home plate, and you go and chat with him, and he would talk about when he was a kid growing up in North Florida. He said the Negro League teams would And a lot of the major leaguers, Babe Ruth would barnstorm with me. He said you'd be outside the ballpark trying to get foul balls, home runs, and you could always tell when Babe Ruth was hitting and when Cool Papa Bell was hitting because of the sound of the ball off the bat.
Well, they have a real interesting facsimile of a stadium, and that's upstairs. Check swing, and he didn't go. And they have statues of whom they believe are the greatest players at those positions. And of course, Leon Day was one, better known as a pitcher, but in the museum, he's the right fielder. And apparently Buck O'Neill said that, this one's lined to Seth Smith, he's right there. Buck O'Neill said that Leon Day, as great of a pitcher as he was the best right fielder in the Negro Leagues. So, of course, Josh Gibson, Buck O'Neill, the manager, Ray Dandridge.
Satchel Paige.
Satchel Paige was on the mound.
Yep.
Just a wonderful day, and nice to be over there today to see some of the artifacts. And Adam was, you could tell he was very humbled to be there. So one down. Soler takes ball one.
Well, the Royals were what, an expansion team in 1969, but I came here. In fact, we clinched our first World Series against the Kansas City Athletics on the old ballpark.
Municipal.
Yeah, Municipal Stadium.
Yeah, the Royals played there for 4 seasons, 69 through 72, until the stadium was built. Kansas City's an interesting area. It's kind of like three parts. You have the country club area, then there's the downtown, and this area that we're in where the ballpark is off the interstate. Three and one on Soler, who is a hacker.
Yeah, pretty good discipline there because easily could have chased that 2-1 changeup. Big guy.
Chop foul.
Yeah, again, excellent pitch, 3-1, down and away.
Kansas City, in its last 10 games here at Kauffman against the Orioles, have gone 8-2. Center field off the end of the bat. Jones was deep. Charging in, diving try, and the ball's in play.
Yeah, one of the few times you will see Jonesy get fooled by the big swing. Little cut fastball up and out over the plate. He hits it right on the end of the bat, but he's such a big guy. So again, it's very hard to read the bat. You can he's somewhat 2 steps back, and because he's playing a little deeper this year, can't quite get to it. So what you think if you're pitching is a routine fly ball ends up being a double in a 1-1 ball game. And again, trying to and almost catching it. Yep.
So the go-ahead run at second base. Soler's 2 for 2.
Yeah, isn't it an amazing game? I mean, Bonifacio smokes one right at your right fielder, and then the routine pop fly ball is a double.
Ball 1 to Brandon Moss. Weak ground ball to Davis, his first at bat.
Well, he didn't hit a week, as we mentioned. 107 home runs since 2013. That's what he did for the Cardinals last year. 28 times he homered.
He is on his 4th different team in the past 4 years. Strike on the corner.
Well, he just strikes out a lot. I mean, he's been up, what, 85 times now with 35 strikeouts. Last year got up 413 times and struck out 141 times. But in the baseball dictionary, doesn't get cheated. Yeah, nice little cutter underneath the hands. One of our keys was mix them up. You don't have your best fastball. The shoulder problems kept him from having a normal spring training. Tried to trick him. Certainly capable of doing that.
one slipped. And 2-2. Roger McDowell looking on. No longer needs the sunglasses. Lights have not yet taken effect. Another one slipped, all three.
Well, trying to find the release point. Hasn't been able to do it on the last 2 pitches.
Buck Showalter said before the game that it's likely very soon the Orioles will have to go back to a 7-man bullpen. When we're not sure. Here's the 3-2, and he got him. Outstanding off-speed pitch.
Well, again, you just have to know who the hitter is, and you know, Moss is a high strikeout guy, as we mentioned, and then he swings at a ball 6-8 inches off the corner. And why did he do that? He turned it over. To see him kind of stay on the left side of the ball, it goes left to right and runs away from the bat head. Now, if he's swinging well, or if it wasn't Brandon Moss, he probably would have taken that and gone down to first base. But he wanted to drive in the run, and he expanded the zone.
It was a real telling replay there. You could see it was a strike until it wasn't.
Movement.
Fastball's upstairs. Whit Merrifield popped foul to Davis to end the 2nd inning, stranding 2 in scoring position. Tillman still does not have a 3-up, 3-down inning. He was late on a changeup.
Well, he's trying to stay in, Jim, and you know, inside it, and you know, again, just allow your hands to stay inside the bat head is trying to hook it. It's easy to hook the changeup if you can read it. Whereas Chris, again, he must be tough to pick up because he's getting away with some pretty high breaking balls in the zone. And then again, Merrifield, I'm sure that Dale Swaim, his hitting instructor, said don't get too enamored with that 428-foot home run you hit down in Tampa, because you're not a home run guy. Use the middle of the field. That's probably the most velocity he's had all night, 91.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Remember when Jerry Hairston was the Orioles' everyday second baseman? Whenever he would hit a home run, he'd go into a slump because he thought he was a home run guy. And then he would get a swing back and everything get back to normal. One and 2 on Merrifield. Go ahead run at second here in the 4th. Time he let the changeup go by. 2-2.
Yeah, the home run that he did hit down in Tampa was, I mean, it's just fastball up and in. Really put a good swing on it.
Soler, the runner at second. Loop double. And 2-2 on Merrifield.
Like that.
Hung.
Yeah. Not just, I think, a fastball up and in, and again, 88. Oh, yeah, he's thrown 92, 93. Maybe gets it where he pops him up. But again, as long as you get it in off the plate, and you can, I mean, see, it's kind of Buck looking on. He knows exactly what's going on with Tillman. He's not at his best velocity-wise, but by getting the ball in off the plate, he couldn't do anything but hit it foul. Now maybe it sets up a better breaking ball down and away. And didn't go for the changeup.
Another long at bat. Merrifield had an 8-pitch at bat in the 2nd. About to see the 7th pitch in this at bat. Soler at second with 2 down. Fouls it back again. Four pitches this inning. To 82 already. Bundy last night, a lot of foul balls. Another foul ball.
Yeah, another good pitch. You know, again, fly ball pitcher. Right around easily in a typical year, maybe a few more fly balls or 50-50. Doesn't really have the ground ball two-seam fastball. Even when he throws it, he gets pop-ups on it. And you get out there, Jim, and you're going, okay, well, maybe I'll get lucky. It doesn't always work that way. So trying to grind out, somehow making another good pitch.
This will be the 9th pitch to Merrifield. And he popped him up. Will Payne have a play? I don't believe he will. He's going to be back down below.
Yeah, that ball about 6 inches off the plate. I remember when Rick Sutcliffe pitched for the Orioles. In fact, he pitched the first game at Camden Yards, afternoon shutout against the Cleveland Indians. And he would always say, you know, he says, you know, I'm kind of getting towards the end of my career. I can't show him a lot of pitches. And then he would effectively go 3-2 on everybody. Because that was his style. I don't think this is Chris Tillman's style, but again, when you don't have your best stuff, you're trying to make it work.
Here comes the 10th pitch in this at bat to Merrifield. Chop foul. So he's had about an inning's worth of pitches just to Merrifield. 18 pitches in 2 at-bats to the number 9 batter.
Yeah, in a 1-1 ball game, though, you look at every hitter as an equal, even though you know they're not. But in this situation, you're one hit again with 2 outs from them taking the lead.
Another foul ball.
Well, he can't throw it by him. And he can't trick him because, again, he's really cut his swing down. Take a look at your pitch cast. I mean, that's down and in. Pretty good pitch. Pitch count at 85 now. Only 1 walk.
To right field, there's Smith. And on the 12th pitch, Merrifield is retired. 8 foul balls in that at bat. We head to the 5th in a 1-1 game. And you, and how about the starter, AAA Norfolk, for Jimmy Yacobonis, the 25-year-old. He went to college at St. Joe's in Philly. He has been perfect. 16 2/3, no runs allowed, 5 for 5 in saves. He's got more than an inning, 6 of the 13. The one thing, though, Jim, he's not on the roster. So if the Orioles were thinking about bringing him up, they'd have to make a move. But he is certainly on the radar with those numbers.
Well, he certainly is, and that is why I talked to the skipper, Buck Showalter, today. I said, so how about Yacobonis pitching really well? He said, man, still got to work on the breaking ball. You know, he said he liked him in spring training, got a little bit better. But if he came up here, if he threw 20 pitches, 17 would probably be fastballs. And I'm not sure they know if that would work or not.
Well, he looked pretty good in the spring when he got into games, but of course, spring
I mean,
is such a
what
hard.
more can you do? You
Right,
know, I mean,
exactly.
and they're going to obviously. You always need as much pitching as you can. So and getting him on the 40-man roster shouldn't be that hard if they think he can help the team.
Trey with a good take, 2-0. Our Coons.com leaderboard brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. So every 11.29 plate appearances, he has homered.
And Judge at 9.92. That's Ruthian. That's what Babe used to do.
The Judge.
Of course, for 715 times. Or actually 714 times.
I'm sure he hit one in a rainout that didn't count. Two.
Yep. Think you're going to get a fastball and you don't. Well, up in Boston, Sales struck out 10 or more now for the 7th. The 12th. He struck out 12 tonight. He's I think tied with Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, the Red Sox, that was supposed to be a night game, and apparently there's a lot of wet weather in the East. I know it was raining in Baltimore today. The Yankees got rained out at home, so they moved that game from 7:05 to 1:05 to get it in. And then Sale went out and pitched and won.
Yeah, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts.
Full count on Mancini, leading off in the Oriole 5th. And strike 3 called.
They're trying to catch Chris Sales. That's number 10. Well, they said really, one of the keys to Chris Tillman, mix him up, but Carnes, get the curveball, hook him. That was one of the keys. 35% of the time he throws it tonight. With 10 strikeouts, 8 of them on curveballs, 2, 1 to Adam Jones, now to Mancini on fastballs.
That is his 4th called strike 3. A little high to J.J. Hardy, 1-0. Last night, Danny Duffy was fantastic. 7 innings, 2 runs. Now Carnes has allowed 1 run in 4 1/3.
Well, one of the keys to pitching, I mean, and there are many of them, is can you change speeds? Well, he certainly can do that with a curveball. Another key, can make quality pitches. He's done that tonight. 1 hanging curveball. Not a lot of hittable pitches. And what do the Orioles do when they're hitting well? They get pitchers to drive.
On the corner. Carnes averages 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, walking 3 per 9 innings. So 3-to-1 K to walk ratio. And another one, number 11. So a career high for Carnes.
Yep, 10 against Tampa Bay. We're only in the 5th inning. It's kind of interesting. Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, was saying, well, he's got a great curveball. We took the curveball away from Danny Duffy because he didn't have the quality curveball and went to a slider. So obviously what works for one pitcher doesn't work for another.
Pena again, the deep left field, back it goes, and that ball is gone. Happy Mother's Day again. He predicted it, and he's done it twice, and the Orioles have the lead.
Well, it's not like they don't know that he can hit for power, because he hit 27 home runs a couple of years ago at AAA Omaha for him. 27 home runs. So he's a big guy. Now you hang a curveball, he ties the game up 1-1, and then you get a fastball in the middle of the plate, and all of a sudden you're trailing by 1.
Well, his mom will get another greeting, I'm sure. How about that? He predicted he was going to do it, and he's done it twice.
And those are 2 no doubt about it home runs.
Love you, Mom. Oh, that's fabulous. That is great. He's such a good guy.
Well, again, hanging curveball, fastball in the middle of the plate, crunched.
110 miles an hour out of the ballpark. So at 430 feet, his first home run was 405 feet. So it is Francisco Pena 2, Kansas City 1. And a bouncer foul.
I used to always talk to Robbie Alomar, and about, of course, I played against his dad and his brother caught and all that. He said, but who stays home? Mother's Day tomorrow. Who stays home and raises the family when your dad's a baseball player? So no wonder he's so happy he's been able to do that. Really on Mother's Day weekend, as you talked about.
Day game tomorrow. Caleb will probably be back in there, so for Francisco Pena, he's celebrating Mother's Day today. Just inside, Karn started walking off the mound. Seth Smith, he's the one Oriole he's not going to chase. And that's his reputation. Dan Duquette made the trade. He wanted somebody that had good on base percentage skills. Slow chopper. There's going to be a tough play. Moustakas throws, not in time. There's an infield hit for Smith.
Yeah, he played it like a shortstop. I mean, very rarely do you ever have a chance to catch a high hopper like that barehanded. Again, got an infield hit up in Boston. There's the Moose. Oh, a little bit offline.
Well, he was a shortstop in high school, so I guess he has the nuances. Here's Adam Jones. Orioles looking for a 2-out insurance run here. Adam has struck out twice. Got a hanger. Recognized it.
He really did.
Fouled it straight down.
Got a hanging curveball swing too, but swung right through it.
Owen won the count. And that was a good take down and in.
Yeah, I remember when Miguel Tejada came over to the Orioles and he got a hanging curveball up at Fenway. It was like he won the slots in Vegas. His eyes lit up. You hang a curveball. Pena hit it about, well, maybe not as far as the fastball, but well over 400 feet.
One and two on Jones. So the Orioles, on a pair of solo home runs from Francisco Pena, have the lead. I hope Tony, his dad, is watching back in New York. They were rained out today, so
he'd be jealous. Well, Tony was a heck of and not that he didn't hit home runs, because he did, but Francisco, a little bigger version of.
Yeah. 18 years his dad played. One and two the count on Jones with Smith on at first. Fights off another one.
Yeah, Tony hit what, 107 home runs? Hit one every 60 at bats.
Francisco has 2 and 6 at bats. Again, he fouls it off.
Well, he came into the season with only, and we mentioned it, what, back in 2014, playing for the Royals AAA affiliate, 27 home runs, 61 RBIs, but he only had 47 at bats in the big leagues coming into this season. Just imagine Francisco say, "Dad, I want to be a catcher." And he says, "Let's get to the backyard. Let's go to the ballpark." And he has learned the right way to do that. The hitting's a bonus.
Adam is having a Whit Merrifield at bat.
I just kind of wonder if he hurt himself on that big swing on the curveball. And this is a fastball, and
4 consecutive foul balls. Two and two. Doesn't chase.
Yeah, the pitch count, it seems not that high. I mean, obviously he's been pretty effective. He came in almost 18 pitches per inning at 17.8. And that was his 87th. He's been effective. I mean, anytime you strike out 11, you're going to throw a lot of pitches, but he's been pretty effective considering the amount of strikeouts.
He had 2 strikeouts in the 4th inning and threw a total of 11 pitches. Smith at first with 2 down. And a line drive, base hit to right field. And Smith will go to second and hold there. So Adam Jones wins that battle. On the 8th pitch, he singles to keep the inning going. Smith to second, Jones to first. This season's first fireworks night, presented by Kaiser Permanente, comes up on Friday when the Orioles take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And good seats are available for this fan favorite, but they're going fast. As you know, folks, they love the fireworks night. So if you want to come on out, get your tickets. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Dave Island comes out 2 for 15, Manny Machado, but I think this is more of just coming out and settling him down. You know, the 1-run lead is gone. Got a couple of guys on. You certainly have a guy that's capable of doing some serious damage at the plate, even though you've handled him pretty well. You get a base hit his first time up, but when you got Manny Machado 2 for 15, you've made some good pitches.
So a chance for an add-on run here with 2 down. All of this happened 2 outs and nobody on. Mancini struck out, Hardy struck out, Pena homered, Smith an infield hit, Jones a single on the 8th pitch.
And as long as you make quality pitches, and I'm sure that's what Dave Island said, hey, take your chances. But if you don't, 2-1 could be 5-1 in a moment. Of course, when Manny, and I mentioned it last time up, when he's hitting at his best, he'll hit a single to right field with the best of, or drive one up the gap.
That ball's cued and foul. Well, the outfield plays very deep, trying to prevent balls from getting by them, especially in left field where Bonifacio is almost on the warning track.
Well, Kane, as you mentioned, is a big guy. I mean, he lopes with the best of them. He can cut down the angles, right and left center here. Ideal center fielder for this ballpark.
So after the pitching coach visit, he's 0-2 on Machado. And he got him. 3-pitch strikeout ends the inning. But Francisco Pena gets into one, his second of the game. This one goes 430 feet, and it gives the Orioles a 2-1 lead in the 5th. baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, at Fenway Park this afternoon, Boston beat Tampa Bay 6-3 behind Chris Sale's 12 strikeout performance, 7th consecutive start with 10 or more Ks. Tampa Bay's lost 5 of 7. And at Rogers Center, here come the Blue Jays. Pilar, 3 hits, now leads the American League with 47. 7-2 win over Seattle. Toronto has won 7 of its last 10 games. They're now back within 5 games of 500.
Yep. Well, that's what, you know, when you're 10, 11 back, as they were, you know, John Gibbons. I mean, he's done a terrific job. They extend him. He's not going to panic.
Mr. Pena's having quite a night.
Yeah, so long inning for Chris Tillman sitting on the bench. See if that affects him. Only got a 1-run lead now.
He faced 4 batters in the 4th inning and threw 29 pitches. 12 to Merrifield.
And the first fastball at 85.
Top of the lineup, Escobar, Moustakas, and Kane in this 1-run game. The Orioles have already played in 11 games in which they have scored 2 runs or less, and they've won 4 of those. At one point they were 4-2, but the last 5 they've lost, so they're 4-7 in games scoring 2 runs. 0-2 on Escobar, who's 1 out of 2. Through the middle, a base hit. That was a hanger, and an 0-2 pitch. There's a leadoff base runner. And the tying run is on in the 5th. Hey fans, remember, anytime the O's score 4 runs or more, you win free McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. Download the McDonald's app today. It's available at Baltimore area McDonald's.
Yeah, when you're scuffling, you're just trying to put it in play. And curveball, I don't know if it was a hanger as much as it ended up in the middle of the plate, and he hit it right back. And Chris Tillman, because he falls a little bit towards first base, ball goes right over the pitching rubber into center field. So the Royals get exactly what they need, trailing by 1 here in the 5th. And the pitch count now at what, 91.
Ball 1 to Moustakas.
You would think there'd be some short leap because of the pitch count action and the scoreboard in the Oriole bullpen. Kind of always look down, nobody throwing you, but your guys are limbering up, and they have a sense that pitch count is where it is, closing in on 100. And 3rd time through the order, heart of the order.
Orioles have the shift on. Moustakas bounced into a double play into the shift. StatCast brought to you by Amazon Web Services, and here's how they're lined up.
Yeah, normally, I mean, you know, he would be looking for a ball just to hit it to right field. You know, try to, again, it's a big ballpark. Escobar with good speed, create a 1st and 3rd, don't have to get a base hit to score a run. They try to plug that hole with Scope.
There's a base hit. Escobar will stop at 2nd. So the boost chance for Moustakas. So the tying run at 2nd, go ahead run at 1st, and nobody down in the heart of the lineup. So the Orioles bullpen is going to start to get busy. Alec Asher, right-hander, getting loose.
Yeah, he can give you some length.
So a big moment in this game for Tillman. Orioles got in the lead in the 5th on Francisco Peña's 2nd home run of the night, but now back-to-back singles to begin the 5th. And the one that really hurt was the single by Escobar on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, he's their highest hitter with runners in scoring position. So again, the long inning, I mean, it was very tenuous as it was because of the lack of velocity. And you sit there for a while. The Orioles only, I mean, they get him the extra run on the Pena home run, but they don't add to it. And again, this is only his 6th outing of the year. And you consider 4 rehabs and then a start against the White Sox and then tonight.
One 1-0 on a dangerous hitter, Lorenzo Cain. Ball 2. So Escobar the lead runner, Moustakas the trail runner, and nobody out. And it gets away from Pena. That one bounced. And the runners advance.
Yeah, big trouble. Not only did they advance, he go 3-0. And this ball so far, I mean, just a little cutter. I mean, way out in front of home plate. You know, he tries to do what a lot of catchers will do. I mean, a lot of guys will backhand the ball now and just hope they get it. He tried to get in front of it, but I don't think he ever anticipated that he would miss by that margin. And it goes right by him.
A 3-0 on Cain with Hosmer on deck. The Orioles have the infield back except for Davis. Line drive to right center field. Smith is over, and he has it for the out. Tagging and scoring is Escobar, and it's a tie game at 2. So the wild pitch hurts. Escobar to third. He scores on the sac fly.
Yeah, great approach by Cain. He didn't try to do too much with it, which is the type of hitter he is. He'll tie it up.
Moustakas stayed at second base. The wild pitch, very costly. And once again, we're back even at 2. Here's Eric Hosmer, who's been on base twice. He has doubled and scored. He has walked. He scored the first Kansas City run in the 2nd inning. And Hosmer is 10 for his last 24.
Oh, he's been red hot. And, you know, they say kind of Daniel Murphy won the batting title for the Nats last year. They said, well, what was the difference? I think he got the ball in the air, and that's what they've been trying to get him to do. You know, early on in April, where he really struggled, he was hitting a lot of ground balls. Now all of a sudden we saw it with a double, able to elevate the ball a little bit more.
Out in front of that one, and it's 0-2.
Well, he's a big guy with long arms. You know, loves to get the arms extended. You know, the problem is if you had Chris Tillman throwing 92 to 95, he maybe could run the ball in. You just have to hope that you get him to chase something off the plate, because we've already seen up and out over the plate. It's a very dangerous place to go.
Go ahead runs at second base, 0-2 on Hosmer with 1 down. Pena's going to go out and chat with Tillman. .100 pitches as he works here in the 5th inning. This will probably be his last inning regardless. He's hoping to make it through it.
Yeah, so you get 6 starts in spring training? Certainly not the pressure, because it doesn't mean as much. You were throwing.
There's Manis.
Seth Manis getting loose.
Tillman threw 93 pitches in his 5 innings against the White Sox. He can't entice Hosmer to chase that one.
Yeah, a little better, and we talked about it in the opening. I mean, 60 strikes, 41 balls against the White Sox. It wasn't 50-50, but close to it. Difference was they got him 4 early runs. No breathing room here tonight.
And again, he won't chase.
Well, he knows he can't throw it by him, so he can wait a little bit.
When each team took a lead in this game, the other team scored in its very next at bat. So 2-2, and Tillman trying to keep this game tied. Hot hitter at the plate, hotter hitter on deck.
And the reason he's tough to hit, he's got 10 hits to left, 24 up the middle, and he's only pulled the ball 6 times. So he'll shoot it right back at you. You can wait a little bit longer if that's your approach.
Tillman trying to gut his way through this and get through the 5th. Stockus at second with 1 down. Doesn't chase, ball 3. So from nothing in 2 to a full count.
Yeah, I would imagine this will be his last hitter, whether he gets him out or not, because of the pitch count. But certainly musing. What am I going to do? Asher in the bullpen ready.
So the 7th pitch here coming to Eric Hosmer. And he walked him. So from nothing in 2 to a walk, Kansas City has 2 on with 1 down. And here comes the skipper. So Tillman will go 4 1/3. He cannot win, he can lose if the Royals get the lead. Asher comes on in the 5th.
Second in a row after missing time on the disabled list with a shoulder problem. Kane goes down on strikes. Good change up. Curveball right there to Stockus. Moss can't get the change up, so kind of battled his way through. Maybe certainly not overpowering. And he will leave again with a score tied 2-2. Runners at first and second as Alex Asher comes on. Last pitch Wednesday night gave up the home run to Michael Taylor. And look at those Sox. Again, there are the numbers. A couple of starts, one in Toronto, one in Boston. Righties hitting him with Perez stepping at the plate a couple of 150 points higher than the lefties.
So first and second with only 1 down, a run in to tie the game. This double play could end the inning if Asher could get Perez to hit it on the ground.
Well, certainly a candidate if he does get the ground balls.
Asher's last start was May 2nd at Fenway Park. He went 6 innings, 3 runs, did allow a couple of home runs.
Yeah, but Hanley Ramirez hit 2.
And then he was sent to AAA 2 days later, but he was brought back when Zach Britton went back on the DL.
Yeah, the Orioles on that Wednesday night game had a 6-2 lead, and he came in with one of Donnie Hart's runners on, and Taylor hit the 2-run home run to make it 6-4.
And he hit him.
Well, he didn't even try to get out of the way. That will load him up. It's a good way to take out the inside part of the play away. You got the protection on your elbow. I mean, he didn't even move. Now he does roll into it, so that's a. I mean, just watch him turn his shoulder a little bit, and he goes, "Pitch me in. I'll go to first."
So the bases are loaded with 1 down. Perez seemed to be enjoying that hit by pitch.
Well, that's because he had the protection on. I don't know if he would have liked it if he didn't have that pad on his left arm.
Here's Bonifacio. 0 for 2. Pop foul.
Yeah, so Asher, who's he's got a change up, he's got a little slider, he's got a cutter, curveball, fastball. I thought he threw a little bit harder. I thought he threw harder in Toronto than he has since. There are the base runners for the Royals. Bonifacio, you know what he's trying to do? Loft one in the air or more.
Right there at the knees, 0-2. '23-year-old Jorge Bonifacio. Alec Asher has never faced any of the hitters on this Royals roster. Gets ahead of Bonifacio, 0-2. Good cut there, fouled it back.
Yeah, well, it's I don't think that's where you want the cutter to be. And this is a big, strong, young hitter. When the ball's up, doesn't need as much leverage.
Big moment in this game. The Royals have tied, threatening to get the lead. Bases loaded, 1 down. Left field. Mancini's there. Moustakas will tag. And Mancini plays it back in. So another sac fly, and the Royals go back on top 3-2.
Yeah, so got a pitch to hit.
The wild pitch got Escobar to third. He scored on a sac fly. The hit batsman got Moustakas to third. He scores on a sac fly.
Well, this is what road ball's all about. You know, the Royals aren't particularly good. I mean, obviously, you mentioned they're 7-5 in May, but they do play well here. I mean, they came in at 14-21. They're looking for their 10th win against 9 losses. So Bonifacio, for a young hitter, cuts a swing down and gets a pitch to put him ahead.
Here's Soler, 2 on and 2 down. A little bit low.
Yeah, that's kind of the pitch I think he tried to throw 0-2 and didn't execute it. And get him maybe swing through it. Yeah, how about Aaron Judge and Soler standing next to each other? 2 big guys.
A little bit low. Soler is 6'4", Judge is 6'7", but Soler is a stocky 6'4".
Yeah, 240-ish.
Ground ball to Manny. Gobbles it up. He'll throw to second for the force on the jogging Perez, and the inning ends. Royals get the lead. We head to the 6th, 3-2 game. Is brought to you by Royal Farms. Pick up your ROFO rewards card today at any Royal Farms to save on gas and to start earning points for free stuff. And by American Standard Heating and Air. Go to midatlanticomfort.com for special offers and to find a dealer near you. Lovely night in Kansas City. The Royals now have the lead back at 3-2, and the day is done for Nathan Carnes.
Yeah, 12 strikeouts, a couple of home runs, chance to win as he leaves with a 3-2 lead. Very efficient. Certainly like the job he did.
Seth Manis will come on.
Yeah, just got called up from AAA Omaha. Now sinker, slider, curveball, changeup guy. So not overpowering, upper 80s.
Ball's behind Davis, 2-0. Well, Asher did a pretty good job there, although the hit batter got the go-ahead run to third.
There's the changeup.
The Royals have left 7 men on in this game. Left field. Back on it is Bonifacio. And at the wall, he leaps, and it's gone! It got out of here! And we are tied at 3. Wow, Chris Davis, talk about strong. The ball just kept on going. And just like that, we're back even.
Well, they're just happy to see Carnes leave. The way he was pitching, I mean, Pena might be heartbroken. But with Chris Davis, his 5th home run of the year. This is what he does here. I mean, he does it everywhere when he's hitting the ball to left field. Tremendous power to the opposite field.
So 3 solo home runs for the Orioles, and we are tied at 3. And here's Mark Trumbo.
Yeah, so 93 with a great curveball. It just stays up, and that's in the happy zone for Chris Davis. Bonifacio runs, 8-foot wall here. Couldn't quite jump high enough to keep it in. Just barely got over.
Trumbo fouls it off, 0-2. But Chris has now hit 3 in a row. And he has 2 home runs in his last 9 games. And another $500 for our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Melody Kelly of Baltimore. Bounce to short in the shift. There's Escobar. And Trumbo's retired for the first out.
Well, how about Seth Manis? So you always talk about Tommy John. He had it done last August and already back pitching. Wow.
Well, he's been with the Cardinals his entire career up until this season. Came the other way on Interstate I-70. Here's Scope. Strike. Jonathan, 2 strikeouts. 5 of the Orioles hitters have multi-strikeout games. That's how good Carnes was. Jones, Trumbo, Scope, Mancini, and Hardy. Borderline pitch at the knees. He got the call.
Well, he'll want that pitch because that's where he needs to live.
Bouncer to Escobar.
Yeah, ground ball pitcher, and if he can pitch down, he'll get him.
Well, 2 down in the 6th. The University of Maryland University College Trivia Scramble continues. What Orioles pitcher won 3 Cy Young Awards? Unscramble the answer and text it to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Adam Jones. Brought to you by University of Maryland University College.
Did we ever answer last night's?
No, we didn't.
We're not answering.
We're not supposed to.
Well, who does? How do we know?
Well, the fans figure it out. They text, and then if they win, they get the meet and greet.
Did anybody get it right? 12 strikeouts put me in a delirious mood.
You gave numerous hints.
Well, yeah. Didn't I get help too? I mean, I knew he was from Iowa. Can you give the answer today? Yeah, because it's old news, isn't it?
I don't know the bylaws.
Okay, but he grew up in Norway, Iowa, lives in Kansas City. Actually won 20 games for the Orioles, which is why he was in the. You had the whole list ready last night too.
I did. 24 times an Oriole has won 20 games, and the gentleman to my right had 8 of those 21 seasons, which, by the way, is the most in franchise history. Dave McNally had 4 20-win seasons. Mike Cuellar had 4, so 16 of the 24 are owned by Palmer, McNally, and Cuellar. And then the other 8 won 20-win season by 8 different pitchers, including the gentleman you're referring to in 1984. 1-1 on Hardy after the 2-out walk to Mancini. JJ to center field. That ball's hit well. Kane is back on it at the wall. He'll make the catch. As the ballpark takes one away from J.J. Hardy, but Chris Davis leads off in the 6th. He goes opposite field. It carries out. His 5th home run has tied the game.
Orioles trying to break a 2-game road losing streak. Double play. Moustakas hits in it. 4-6-3. And then how about Francisco Pena? He ties it up 1-1. Prelude to Mother's Day. And then Adam Jones runs one down. Looks like it's going to be maybe an inside to Parker. Down 2-1. Pena ties it up a 430-foot exit velocity to 110 miles per hour. Mom, I love you again. Of course, it was never in doubt. So again, those are your Geico highlights. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Well, the Orioles now 13 multi-home run games. Pena has 2 tonight. Davis has 1, and we are back even. Brandon Moss. That ball's ripped to right, and the Royals have the lead back.
That's why they got him. Kendrys Morales now a Blue Jay. Well, they needed pop in their lineup. So home runs on back-to-back nights for Moss. And they weren't, no doubt about home runs. Last night, 451 feet. This a crisp line drive that sails into the bleachers here. And again, that's that flat cutter. It doesn't really, I mean, it just stays on the same plane. And 86 inside middle doesn't do it.
So for Moss, number 6, and the Royals back on top. So Asher allowed the 2-run home run the other night to Michael Taylor. He allowed 2 home runs in his last start at Boston. So in his last 4 appearances, minor getting loose in the Kansas City bullpen, he has allowed 4 home runs. Oh, 2 on Merrifield. Kansas City probably feels like they should have about 8 runs. They've left 7 men on base in this game.
Yeah, both teams went, what, 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position last night. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cut fastball, especially from Alex Asher. It just looks like if you're going to throw it, it has to be down in the zone, and you know he loves it. And he got him in trouble up in Boston.
Line to right, and Smith the sliding catch.
Really nice approach by Merrifield. He gets robbed on a very, very nice play. Really good jump. And he gets a great read, comes in, and never takes his eyes off it.
They're 1 down, and the lineup turns over again. Here's Escobar, his 4th at bat in 6 innings. Couple of singles. He scored the tying run in the 5th. Inside, and it missed him.
Yeah, Alcides says, well, I'm going to get hit by anything. I'll take the 77-mile-per-hour backup curveball.
Two 2-0 the count.
Oh, there was that cutter again.
Well, staying on the same plane as the swing is not a good idea. You shouldn't live there. Brandon Moss got one right where he likes it and didn't miss it.
Well, I'm sure he didn't mean to throw it there.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to cut it in on his hands, but I still remember Sidney Ponson when he came in. When he first came to the big leagues, he was a reliever. Actually, he closed some games for the Orioles. Through 80, 98, 99, and he comes into a game, and Lee Stevens played for the Angels. Low ball hitter, but he threw him an 88-mile-per-hour changeup, and he hit it over Boone's Barbecue in Baltimore for a 3-run home runs. Orioles lose. Next day I said, Sidney, what were you changing up on? He'd never seen anything. He thought it was his fastball, and it just sped up the bat. And that's what the cutter does if you don't get it. You haven't shown Moss something away to open up the inside corner. That's sometimes your result. He doesn't know Asher.
Left field for Mancini.
So he just relaxed to the pitch, and when it doesn't have velocity or movement, that's when you get in trouble.
Well, fans, we invite you to celebrate Memorial Day at Camden Yards. O's and Yankees, Monday, May 29th at 1:05. All fans receive an Orioles Memorial Day t-shirt to kick off the unofficial start of summer and enjoy a great afternoon with family and friends. Reserve your seats now for this holiday matchup. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. There's fans in Kansas City. 2 down. Center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Adam Jones was deep. And Moustakas is on with his 2nd hit. And Kane will come back up with a man on. Renzo drove in what at the time was the tying run with a sac fly in the 5th inning.
Yeah, pretty good numbers against the right-handers. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting when you get a multi-talented guy but doesn't hit home runs. Good defender, steals bases, 10 for 10. what his value will be if he indeed becomes a free agent.
And he popped them up. Smith and right. And Asher gets out of it without any further damage. But Brandon Moss leads off with a home run to right. Breaks the tie. Kansas City back on top 4-3. Royals back on top 4-3 on the Brandon Moss home run. The Orioles still very much in this game, and here's Mike Minor, the left-hander, on for the 7th.
Yeah, he's really been pitching well. You know, turned labrum in 2015, missed the whole year, but in his last 7 outings, he's given up 1 earned run in 12 2/3 innings. You know, 6'4" lefty out of Knoxville. He's got a good arm, and he's got good velocity at 94. He's got a hard slider. He loves that pitch, throws it almost 50% of the time, and then a knuckle curveball and a changeup. So 4-pitch pitcher, and why not? He was a starter before the shoulder problem with Atlanta, won 13 games with a very low ERA back in 2013.
Francisco Pena, a pair of home runs tonight. Yeah, Mike Minor was the Braves' first-round pick out of Vanderbilt back in 2009. Now 29 years old. Up and in, 1-1.
Yeah, that's that cutter slider. But again, see, when you throw it correctly, it's usually, try to run the hitter off the plate to try to maybe go down and away, but they're going to stay in on Pena. Way in. There's 94. He's got a good arm.
The only player on the Orioles that Minor has faced played for Bowie tonight. Wellington Castillo is the only player that has seen Minor before. And he takes a strike.
And just kind of give up on it. Looking past ball, gets back in the count with a slider.
Chop towards third. Moustakas, a tough play, bobbles the ball, throws, and scooped out by Hosmer for the out.
Well, that's a nice play all around. Yeah, Mike Moustakas had no chance other than to come in. Tough hop, didn't want that one, but able to maintain control, and then got the Gold Glover. Hosmer the target over at first. Not an easy pick either for him. Pena was a little fleeter. Had an infield hit.
Yeah, Moustakas benefiting there from the catcher running. to Seth Smith, who will face the left-hander for only a third time this year. And 196. That good eye again.
Yeah, Dayton Moore taking a chance, you know, knowing, of course, he came out of the Atlanta organization years ago, saying, hey, you know what, I'll sign him for 2 years, even though he may have to work his way back through the minor leagues to get here. This guy's got a nice arm.
Well, Smith has faced Fernando Abad of the Red Sox, who got him on a ground out. And then he got a base hit in the Nats series. It was at Camden Yards. He pinch hit against Enny Romero and he got a base hit. That ball's chopped to first. Hosmer will go to the bag unassisted, and 2 down. The fans, don't miss out on the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. The ace plans are sold out, but a limited number of slugger plans do remain. Sign up today at its Birdland's best value in family entertainment. The memberships are just $25 and include tickets to 5 games and a variety of exclusive items. So join now, Orioles.com/dugout club, or call 888-848-BIRD. There's Adam Jones, singled his last at bat. Tight 1-0. That is a foul ball. Moustakas couldn't reach it, but it was foul.
Well, yeah, he takes the line away, knowing that if he doesn't catch it, it's going to be a foul ball. Again, not by much.
Adam Jones was pointing at Moustakas, but I think what he was doing was telling him Bonifacio wasn't ready in left field yet. One and 2.
Yeah, so pretty much, you know, everything in. There's yet to establish a way, and again, when you're a starter, you probably won't get away with that, but as a reliever, well, finally away here. Just misses down and away. Nope. They wanted to swing. James Hoy says no. And he was right.
Did I swing? And he gets him. So Jones down on strikes. Minor a 3-up, 3-down inning. 7th inning stretch in Kansas City. The Royals have the lead. On Mother's Day, the O's and Royals, the finale of the weekend series with Kevin Gausman on the mound against the Royals' Chris Young. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1:30 with O's Extra presented by Jeep, and then game coverage at 2 o'clock on MASN 2 and on WJZ. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. Asher stays in. He gets ahead of Hosmer. Asher has allowed one inherited runner to score and one run on his own. And right now that's the difference with Kansas City getting the lead back. Orioles did tie it in the 6th on the Davis home run, but Brandon Moss came right back in the bottom of the 6th with a homer.
Change up, and you know, we saw when he pitched his first start, and that was up in Toronto, pitched very well for the Orioles, used all those pitches. So again, fastball to start the count, came in with a cutter off the plate, and then back with a changeup. Not a great one, but it certainly fooled him.
And on a 1-2 pitch, another base hit. So Hosmer's in on base all 4 times tonight in a leadoff single in this 1-run game. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com. Salvador Perez. It's a strike. Perez RBI single came back in the 2nd inning. He was lined out to Hardy, and he was hit by a pitch which got a runner to 3rd, who then scored on a sac fly. Tillman went 4 1/3, 3 earned runs on 8 hits, and now it's Alec Asher. Protecting the outside corner at 0-2.
Well, it's already been documented that he does crowd the plate. Certainly you don't want to be thrown around the head. Well, he doesn't budge. And that's why he's able to. I mean, he's got a long arm. He's a big guy. You've seen him already. I mean, the line drive. He got a base hit to the left. He hit a line drive that Hardy caught. But those were pretty good pitches. He just goes out and gets them. Kind of on the plate. Really hovering over the inside corner.
Just missed.
Nice try there.
Two and 2 on Perez. And he got him. Perez down on strikes, 1 away.
Yeah, able to get it in enough. He didn't do it to Hosmer. He tried to get it up and in, and he singled to right. Again, he's trying to cover the outside corner, and he swings right through it. The Orioles getting Alec Asher from the Phillies. A tough spring. He pitched, what, 13 innings, gave up 12 runs, 20 hits. Did not have a good spring, and he was expendable.
Here's Bonifacio. A little bit low. Bonifacio in the 5th inning, the 2-run rally, got the 2nd run in, which at the time gave Kansas City a 3-2 lead. Ball and a strike. That is a big, big run at first base. Orioles are down by 1. Buck on the phone to the bullpen again.
Yeah, probably getting a lefty up for Moss.
Real good changeup there. 1 and 2.
He's got a nice selection. I'm just not enamored with a cutter. Got him in trouble in Boston. That's what Moss hit Donnie Hart again. Moss 3 hitters away.
And then Royals really do crowd that plate. Left center field off the end of the bat. Mancini is there. And Trey has it for the second out. That did not sound good off the bat.
Big swing, got it on the end of the bat.
See how big the outfield is here. 410 to straightaway center field. 387 to the alleys. 330 down the lines. Roger McDowell's now going to come out for a chat. Scouting report on Soler and giving Donnie Hart a few extra pitchers in the bullpen.
Well, I mean, that was a cutter there, and he just got it out on the end of the bat. It was up in the strike zone. You know, he does have a slider. And usually those pitchers are more effective to young hitters. I always thought the cutter, unless you're a veteran pitcher, we saw it with Tommy Hunter. Tommy came over right here in this ballpark. First time ever pitched for the Orioles, throwing 96, 97. They made him a starter through 91 or 92 until they shelved the cut fastball. Went right back up to, you know, high velocity.
Hosmer at first with 2 down. He led off the inning with a single. And there's a strike. That had some dip to it.
Yep. Well, he's a tall kid, you know. I mean, Asher's 6'3". The key, when you give you a 10-inch mound, throw the ball downhill. Cutter can be flat. Stays in the zone too long. That one didn't. He's got a nice windup, very simple. Kind of breaks his hands just inside his front knee.
Bounce to Manny. And he'll take the short way to second to force Hosmer, and that leadoff single doesn't hurt. So Asher gets out of it. We'll head to the 8th with young fans in attendance. 4-3 Kansas City. He homered in the third. He homered again in the fifth. Nate Carnes, the starter, went 5 innings and no decision, but a career high 12 strikeouts. Chris Davis tied the game at 3 with a home run in the top of the 6th, but then Brandon Moss led off the bottom of the 6th with a home run, and the Royals back on top. So we go to the 8th.
And Mike Minor comes out of the bullpen throwing gas, 95, 96, hard slider. And Manny had a little trouble with the curveball, as did most of the Oriole hitters. Yeah, Tuesday night, Minor went 2 2/3 innings, struck out 4, 7-6. Royals win down to Tampa Bay.
And he got under it. There's the shortstop Escobar in the shift. And 1 down in the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Nice night in Kansas City. There's the shift now with Chris Davis coming up. Fastball for a strike. Chris has hit lefties pretty well this year, 262. Minor quickly gets ahead 0-2.
I didn't realize this. I mean, I looked at all the numbers and all that and how well he's pitched for him. Struggled early, but I didn't realize that he had this kind of fastball. And again, the experience factor, the labrum surgery, 2013.
Moylan.
It kind of reminds you a little of the way he stands as Jay Happ of Toronto. Maybe a little lower arm angle, but not much. Similar height.
Davis fouled off a good pitcher's pitch there. Count holding 1-2. I'm not sure how he reached that, but he did to stay alive. One out, nobody on. The Birds down by a run. Outfield very deep on Davis.
Yeah, hits another home run with that pink bat. Probably use it all year long, or as long as it lasts.
This will be the 7th pitch in this at bat. And he got it.
Yeah, guys that have command, they just keep going a little farther away, and eventually, and again, if you have a good arm and you got good velocity and good location, what a great combination. You can see Perez sitting off the plate, throws it exactly there. Gets him to chase a little bit.
And a bouncer to Escobar. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. Minor has faced 6. He has retired all 6. Bottom of the 8th. 4-3 game. Donnie Hart coming on. Time brought to you by Miller Lite. Before the game, Francisco Pena said, "I'm going to hit a home run tonight for my mom for Mother's Day." And in the 5th inning, he did just that. He hit it out. And then he came up again and hit another home run. So a 2-home run night for Francisco Pena. He said, "Yep, I love you, Mom," in honor of Mother's Day. The Royals have the lead. And here's Donnie Hart on to work the 8th.
Yeah, it kind of backed him off a little bit. Last pitched on Wednesday. And on the home run that Taylor hit, one of his runs scored. So again, so this year the lefty's hitting him much higher than last year. He's actually probably had to pitch a little bit more because of the Britton injury. Well, you look at his numbers, Jim. He pitched on the 21st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 26th, and then the 2nd, 4th, 6th. So he got a little days, I don't know, 3 days rest this time because he wasn't available last night, coming in to match up with Moss, who's hit home runs in back-to-back games.
It's ahead of him 0-1. Right field off the end of the bat. Smith comes in on it, and he has for the out and 1 down. Navin Herrera, the closer, getting loose. The Orioles in the 9th will have Scope, Mancini, and Hardy due up. Whit Merrifield is 0 for 3. He was very pesky against Chris Tillman in his 2 at-bats against Chris. A total of 20 pitches in those 2 at-bats. This time first ball swinging sends Jones back on it, and it's off his glove. And Merrifield's going to end up at second base with a double.
Yeah, lined out his last time, and then, you know, Adam thinks he should have caught this ball. Pass ball up, out over the plate. It's hit hard. And again, just off the top of the glove. Not going to give him an error on that ball, but just couldn't run it down. Good news, he with 1 out, he only gets the 2nd.
It's a big insurance run out there. Here's Escobar, his 5th at bat tonight. He's got a couple of hits, and he has scored a run. Hart, by the way, has never faced the Royals. Merrifield back. Orioles lost 3-2 last night. They're trailing 4-3 here tonight.
Yeah, 8-3 in 1-run games this year. 8-2 going into last night.
Merrifield takes off, then stops.
Well, stolen a lot of bases in the minors, and then you can see the Oriole middle infielders, Hardy and Scope, more worried about the pitch going to home plate. Don't want to leave their positions.
Now they're trying to keep him close. The outside corner, 1-2. Escobar is now 30. He's got Merrifield at second base. They're the stolen base numbers. 10 out of 13 in his career. This year he's 2 for 2. Check swing. They appeal. He didn't go.
And Francisco Pena did a little Salvador Perez. What do you think, Mr. Ump?
Escobar came into this game 4 for his last 22, and he's got 2 hits. Fly ball to right field. That'll chase Smith back. Merrifield's going to go back to tag. And the throw will be cut off by Hardy. So sliding in safely at third is Merrifield, but now 2 men down. Well, Jim's been talking about it the last 2 nights about how difficult it is to hit here. Here are the numbers, Jim, on Kauffman Stadium.
Well, obviously you still have to pitch well. I mean, the Orioles have hit 3 home runs tonight. The problem is they're all solos. So again, look at the team ERA. The starters, as you mentioned, have been lights out lately. They have a good bullpen. We've seen that. Again, it's a pitcher's part. So you try to, at least what I ascertained watching the Royals play in the World Series in 14 and 15, Dayton Moore built the team around it. You know, a high contact team. You know, back end of the bullpen, really good. Stockus swings through that slider. You know, very speedy defense, ability to put the ball in play. Home runs are not at a premium, even though guys like Stockus and Hosmer can hit them.
Back-to-back pitches with the same result.
Well, he showed you the numbers. I mean, it was, lefties came in and hit 316. Now that's only 19 at bats. 1 extra base hit, a double. You know, the runners off of Donnie Hart with runners in scoring position, and 258 is usually the league average. 214, so made a lot of clutch pitches.
Runner at third and 2 down, and 0-2 on Moustakas. Popped up, shallow center. This ball is trouble, but Jones will get there. And Adam runs it down for the final out. 1 out, double, a man left. We head to the 9th. O's come to bat. They need a run, and they'll face Herrera. Brought to you by Southwest. Guest to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, a 1-run game, as was last night. And here is the closer, Kelvin Herrera, on for the save.
Yeah, hard thrower. You know, 97, 98. He's got a great changeup. Hard slider that's gotten them into trouble. If you look at home runs per 9 innings last year, they were .075. That's less than a run a game. 3/4 of a home run every 9 innings. This year, 2.75. So home runs are a little bit higher. And he didn't come in last night. Stockus robbed Mancini of a double down the line. And Hardy flied out. Joseph hit a single that Soler played into a triple, and then Gentry made the last out.
So 4 home runs allowed. Scope first ball swinging, fouls it back.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had 3 saves in my career, but if you throw 97 and you're late on it, you would think, and from what I talked to the people here, what's gotten him in trouble, Armando Benitez used to do that. In fact, you go back to the playoffs in '97, threw a ball right by Marquise Griffin, and then came back with a hanging slider, 3-run home run, changed the whole playoff for the Orioles. And then he threw a hanging changeup to Tony Fernandez to lose 1-0. Again, speeding up the bat. So there's a fine line. Doesn't mean you can't use the breaking ball. You can't throw it for a strike. And that's what he tried to do right there. Just maybe get him to chase.
Jonathan is 0 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, pretty straightaway defense with Kane a couple of steps into right center.
Right to Escobar. And 1 down. Herrera fell down.
Yeah, just slipped. And they're going to come out, see if he's all right. Certainly hit it to the right guy. Yeah, you pitched this time of the game, and we've had about 6 pitchers. So you know, all different landing spots. Nobody throws from exactly the same. Nobody lands in the same. So your footing certainly can be a little shaky. Wow, that could hurt. That's going to hurt tomorrow because he goes down hard. Now, Nellie Briles used to do that on purpose. He would actually throw a pitch and go down on the ground during the game on purpose. That got him over his front side, Jim.
And Cini is hitless. He does have a walk. Carnes struck out 12 batters. Of the 21 he faced.
And another changeup. Another one. His changeup's close to 90 miles per hour.
Seems reluctant to throw a fastball to Mancini.
Well, if you throw it, I think that's because of the potential double he had last night. I mean, he smacked one headed for the line. That time he gets it up and in. But again, you know, it might have been a ball, but you want an aggressive swing from a hitter. He's looking fastball, gets it. But if he thinks he's going to get another one, there's no guarantee. And that's why Herrera's so hard to hit.
And he got the slider.
And not only did he get it, it was a good one. Now you throw that same slider in the middle of the plate, maybe a different story, but this is perfectly thrown. Those are the kind of pitches you live for if you're a pitcher.
Here's Hardy. Fastball's right there. JJ's hitless on the night. Broken bat line drive to second. There's Merrifield, and the Royals have made it back-to-back wins over the Orioles, and for the first time this year, the Orioles have lost 3 consecutive games. Final 10 batters go down, and the home run by Moss, the difference in this game in the 6th. Final score in Kansas City, Royals 4, Orioles 3.